going to be recorded, so it will be available on our website, so you'll be able to see it back again if you want. If you want to ask any questions during the session, there's a panel on the right-hand side where you can type in your questions, and then we'll go over them at the end of my presentation and then again at the end of the demonstration. Okay, so we get it going. I'll kill my webcam and we'll start. Okay, so today's presentation is what's new in GeoMedia WebMap 2014, and that's following on from our presentation last month on GeoMedia 2014, which again you can access on the webinars page on our website. So what is GeoMedia WebMap for those who haven't seen it before? GeoMedia WebMap allows you to easily deploy web services and web applications, and allows real-time access to your enterprise data, and is also a very powerful analysis tool. So in Ireland here we've had a long tradition with GeoMedia WebMap. It's been heavily used in local government and in the utilities and telecommunications sector. So in local government it's used for doing analysis on intranet browsers, for sharing data around local authorities, but also greatly for publishing data on the internet and providing data to members of the public for planning applications, or to publish the location of services such as libraries. So a very powerful tool for deploying your GIS and your spatial data across the intranet and internet. The main features of WebMap is it's a platform for building scalable websites and web services. And GeoMedia WebMap operates on a server-side map generation. So it generates the maps or output on the server, which are then rendered up into your web browser. And one big tool with WebMap and Web Publisher is the ability to publish your maps directly from GeoMedia, and also to take advantage of the spatial analysis functionality of GeoMedia. So any of our GeoMedia users, if you have workbenches or workspaces set up with your GeoMedia applications of maps that you'd like to share either through web services or through a browser or to other groups using either WFS or WMS, you can use GeoMedia WebMap to do that. And that means that you can then provide enterprise data access and analysis and be able to visualize and query your assets without having to restyle them or reconfigure them. You can just publish them straight out to Web Publisher, and then they're shown on your browser using the off-the-shelf web clients that are provided with WebMap. Some of the main features with WebMap as well is you can do advanced analysis. So you can even do linear referencing, routing, or dynamic segmentation. Those functionalities come with a WebMap Professional, which is the upper scale license. So a lot of our customers here in Ireland are on WebMap Advantage, but yeah, you can actually do linear referencing with WebMap Professional. Also with GeoMedia WebMap comes the Geospatial Portal or web client, which is an integrated web client and allows you to view, analyze, capture and update information in both 2D and 3D. So again, just for our customers who have been on the older versions of GeoMedia WebMap, Geospatial Portal now comes with GeoMedia Advantage. It was previously an add-on product, but again, as most of our customers are on GeoMedia WebMap Advantage, you will get Geospatial Portal as well as the Web Publisher client. So it gives you two different ways to access your data. With the 2014 release and building on some of the functionality that came in 2013, there's a new administration console which allows you to manage and configure your server-side engines, web services, and your web applications, all through a web-based application. Anybody who attended one of our previous webinars on GeoMedia Smart Client will recognize the interface there, because it uses the same administration tools that Smart Client does. So what HEXAGON now and Intergraph have provided is a kind of single configuration platform for across the geospatial server products, Apollo, WebMap, Smart Client. So again, it gives the administrator a single interface and a single and a way of using their systems together, and don't have to learn different interfaces. So again, going back to one of my points I made already, with Web Publisher, you're able to publish from your GeoMedia desktop and then deliver your data to any client application. So you can take it from your database, publish it out to a workspace, which is then published to your GeoMedia WebMap Web Publisher configuration, and then pushed out through WebMap via web services. So GeoMedia WebMap with every release now, the web service capabilities improved and new standards supported. But yeah, we support WMS, WFS, and WCS. So WMS is the web map service. So that's if you're providing kind of a raster product through a web service. Web feature service is web feature service is where you want to serve up vector data, and then the web coverage service, WCS, is the web coverage service. So you want to provide up your coverage data. So that can all be pushed out, and then that information can then be consumed. Because these are open web services, they can be consumed by any application. So you can see there Google Maps, Skyline, whatever the application, even if you are using, say, an Esri portal or an open source portal, you can use GeoMedia WebMap to serve up your data through these web services. And again, if you have invested in your GeoMedia desktop and you have workspaces with data already configured, then you don't have to redo this. You can just push this data straight out as web services, and that can be consumed in any application. Also, because GeoMedia WebMap is built on the same GeoMedia data server technology as GeoMedia, it means that we can consume data and bring data in from all locations. So you can see with 2014 and 2013, we have increased any of the users, increased the supported formats. So for a couple of versions now, we've had, as I said already, web server support. We also support KML and GML. But with the 2014 release, a great new enhancement is the support for the Esri file geodatabase. So again, even if you're using Esri at the desktop level and you want to be able to publish your data out to the web, then GeoMedia WebMap can do that. It can bring all these disparate data sets together and publish them out as web services or as a web application. You'd also see at the top there, we support all the mainstream enterprise databases, Oracle, PostGIS or PostgreSQL. Again, that came out, I think it was the start of the 2013 release, or may even have been patched into the 6.1 release, but it's been there a couple of years now. And we also support SQL Server. And GeoMedia supports both SQL Server using the GeoMedia format, but can also support SQL Server using SQL Server Spatial. And in that form as well. And I think with the 2014 release now, we also support SQL Server 2012, as well as Azure and that as cloud formats as well. Yeah, and that's coming on to that. So with WebMap supports for industry standards. So again, it uses all the geospatial standards, OGC, XML, GML, all the IT internet standards, W3C, XML, SOAP, WSDL, and SPG. Also as support now for commercial data sets, so you can actually display your data against Bing and Google Maps. And also GeoMedia WebMap is certified in the cloud, so it can run through Amazon EC2 or Microsoft Azure. So again, very much up to date with all modern standards and platforms. So the value proposition for GeoMedia WebMap, it's fully scalable. It supports open standards, allows real-time access to your data from many different formats and sources, has sophisticated analysis tools, and is very high performing. And as I said already, with the 2014 release, we have provided now the ability to access and share Esri data across the enterprise by connecting to the file geodatabase, which is a great new add-on. And also with the 2014 release, there is superior now new analytics. So again, in both the web publisher and in the Geospatial Portal, you can support 3D data, so in-depth exploration of the data in 3D. And as I said, with the 2014 release, we support now file geodatabase. There's improved rendering of vector data and the web services in 3D. And we also support, so we have the superior image quality here, so we can generate rasters to provide smoother anti-aliasing with the release as well. So you can see the two examples here of the raster being smoothed out. Not a great screenshot, but it's just about sure. And I said already, even when the web publisher portal, you can see the data in 3D and overlay your data against the 3D map. And with the Portal 2014, it's now a configurable, customizable client front end. So with the Geospatial Portal, that's the big thing. It is customizable, so you can actually write your own code against it and build your own applications. And I believe HEXAGON are due to release a wiki where you'll be able to download examples of code to actually write your own little app space and using the Geospatial Portal framework. And as it says, the big thing with the portal is you can simultaneously display maps and compliant and secure services. So even if you don't actually want to use GeoMedia WebMap, you can actually use Geospatial Portal to connect to web services from all sorts of third parties, either in your own organization, so you could have an Esri or an open source web service generation engine, and Geospatial Portal could sit on top of that. Or if you're bringing in data from third parties like the Department of Environment or wherever you need to bring information. As long as it's through an open web service, then you can display it in the Geospatial Portal. So again, with the 2014 release, we now have the ability to perform printing against any connected print service. There's a new 3D viewing mode. You can also update your existing queries. There's the SDK, which allows you to design and customize the application to your liking. It also allows people who are using Apollo to access the vector and business data workflows. And there's GUI enhancements, which give your end users a fresh experience. So, as I said already, this has just been able to see the 3D data in Geospatial Portal. So you've got the ability to switch from the 3D map mode to the 3D map control, and Kieran will show this later on. And again, naturally, if you want to start supporting the 3D data, then you will need a digital elevation model, some ortho photos, and any 3D objects that you want to display across that if you have them. So again, you can see in the digital model there, we have the kind of formats that we support, and the same on the 3D objects, your KMZ files, which are the best, which most people would have, the OBJ files, and 3DS files. So you can see how you can build. There is a wizard to help you build these 3D objects, so you bring them through, create your project, and then it'll then create the 3D map tiles for you. And then once that's done, you can display your 3D data in the browser. And again, one little caveat with any 3D, you're doing a lot of rendering, you will have a little bit slower performance than you will with a 2D system. But again, very powerful to be able to provide this functionality through a thin client, so that anybody, doesn't have to have a full 3D desktop on their machine. They can still view 3D data like this very easily. And of course, we mentioned already that you can, with the new portal, you can update your queries in the portal by either WFS or WMPS and change the parameters of queries, which is useful. And again, these days with more online printing and print services, they've now, with the web portal service, the ability to either use basic local map printing or external printing to provide template objects to configure a legend, overview, map date, and title. So again, in a lot of cases, you'll use WebMap or Web Portal to actually just to provide data to people, and they want to be able to print that data out. So that the enhancements on the printing will be great use. So you can see then you can generate these kind of plots from the printed connected web service. And that's my overview of GeoMedia WebMap 2014. Just before I'm going to hand over to Kieran, who's going to give a demonstration. We're going to check if there's any questions. Okay, so yeah, there's one question coming in, which is what browsers does the GeoMedia WebMap support? So yeah, that's one big thing for anybody who is on the GeoMedia WebMap 5.2. It had a limitation with the browsers, for IE8 and IE9. So with GeoMedia WebMap 2014, it supports Chrome, it supports the latest versions of IE, so it supports all major browsers. So again, as a lot of government agencies have to get off IE8, GeoMedia WebMap 2014 is a good success of that. It also supports a native SVG, which is embedded in the browser, so you don't actually have to use the Adobe SVG control. So again, we had a big issue where Adobe stopped supporting the SVG control, and so you couldn't download it from the Adobe website. But now with IE11 and a lot of the major browsers now, they all have SVG as a native supported format. So you actually don't need it to install the application, the Adobe control. Also with GeoMedia WebMap, you do have the option to output your data as PNG and as a raster format as well. But if you want a kind of interactive map, SVG is very useful. So I'm going to hand over to Kieran. I'm going to switch control here. So over to his machine. Kieran's web map. All right, Kieran, so I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thanks, Kieran. Well, first off here, I have created a WebMap Publisher Portal website, and in here I've got some data from Dublin City Council. So it's mainly background data and planning data. First off, I want to show you the new navigation tools that HEXAGON have introduced. And they're up here in a pop-up box, so you've got to zoom in. You've got the zoom out feature, zoom by rectangle, zoom by area, and then you've got fit all and previous map view, and then of course you can go on to the next map view as well. Okay, and just one thing here I want to show you is Bing Maps. You can add these in as a background map service. So I'm just going to add that in there and show you that, and you can obviously zoom in and out on that.
So Kieran, does that mean you're pushing your data out there as WGS84?
That's spherical Mercator data.
Yeah.
You can only bring in Bing Maps and Google Maps and that
okay.
projection.
But again, like we could connect to, if we were doing an Irish grid, we could connect to MapGenie or whatever like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. One other thing here is the introduction of these buttons you can see up here. So I can add in various themes and various maps, so I can have different views. So here I've added in 2. You could have several more across here if you wished. These are output using GeoMedia. So I'll just switch on to planning here. So
are they maps? They are kind of map windows in GeoMedia that are published out?
They're map windows in GeoMedia.
Okay, so you build your workspace, create a map window, and you publish it, and it takes the legend and
create a web publisher portal, and each web publisher portal you publish out, you can add in as a map here.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to zoom into some data here, planning data I have turned on. And here you can see I have some planning data in blue. At the moment you can't interact with that data, it's in PNG format. So what I can do here on the fly is I can change the format to SVG.
So you set up by default to be a PNG, you could have set up by SVG.
You can set it up to come in as SVG. And you can also set different layers here, so you could have a layer of background data in PNG, and then you could have a layer of your interactive data, which would be in SVG. So here you can see that I can now interact with this planning data and also my addresses. I'm just going to click on the planning data, and here you can see I can get the data back from the database. And I can also add a link into this, which would link out to the actual planning data website. Okay, just want to show you the data panel here. Here I have set up a fixed query on the planning table, and this will bring back all the data within that table. So I can just add that to my data panel, and it will load in the records there.
You need a laptop?
And you can see that there's it's loaded in all the records, and it's loaded in all the columns as well from that table. Here I've got a few action buttons. I've got properties, which will bring up the previous window you saw there, add to clipboard and zoom. And I'm just going to show you to add to clipboard. Add it to the clipboard there, and I can export that to a file which I can use in Excel. So that will just open up Excel, and obviously you can put that in other applications as well. Better kill that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to show you some other tools that HEXAGON have introduced. They're the measurement tools. One is to show coordinates, so I can click on a point, and that will give me the coordinates there of the point. Just clear that. I also have a measurement tool for measuring lines, and that will give me the distance there. And also you have your standard measuring tool for areas. Just measure an area there. Okay, I just clear that there now. Something good that they've introduced is the ability to add in services, background mapping, web map service, web feature service. So I'm just going to show how easy it is to add these in. Here I'm just going to add in, you can see there a list of services that can be added. So you've got your WMS, your WFS. You can even add in other web map publisher sites. Here I'm just going to add in Google Maps. I just register and display that, and that should pop up there. And you can see there how easy it is to bring in Google Maps, and I can just push that below my data so my data displays on top.
So that drag and drop you've done there with the legend, again, that's a new control, the ability to pull up, to reprioritize features on the fly like that, which that's very useful. Again, you're just pulling the background map, but that could be, yeah, you could move planning applications below or above or whatever. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to turn off this planning data, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to load in the web map service. So it's going to load in the web map service that I've actually created this web map service through GeoMedia and published it out through Web Map Publisher.
Yeah, and yeah, for the purpose of our demo today, we're using our own web service. In a lot of cases, people would be consuming web services from third parties. So yeah, as long as they can connect to the internet, they can pick up the data.
Yeah. So I'm going to add this in as a PNG layer, register and display that, and hopefully that'll turn on there for me. So you can see all my development zones in around Dublin City. I'll just turn that one off, and next thing I'm going to add in is a web feature service, so WFS.
So now with your web feature service, you're going to get more, it's vector data you're bringing in, so you'll be able to interact with that data.
Yeah, it's interactive data. So just get that there. And again, this web feature service was set up using GeoMedia. So I just register and choose the layers, which is parking meters within Dublin City. So I'll display them, and they'll come on there for me. And as you can see there, I can interact with that data, and it pops up in the window there. Okay.
So it's very, very open with the application. You can consume the information from anywhere, as well as that planning data you were showing earlier on. That was just coming straight from a SQL database.
Straight from SQL, yeah.
Yeah, so you can use data straight out of a database, or bring it in as web services, or bring it in directly from any kind of CAD or GIS format, like the ones I showed on my previous slides. Yeah.
Okay, so there's just two other things I want to show you now. One of them is a time slider, and the other one is the 3D. Now, I haven't got these set up in this site, but I'll just show you how easy it is to switch to 3D mode. You can switch to 3D mode by using that button there, and that will just bring in 3D for you. Now, I've no 3D data set up here, so I'll just go on to another generic demo site which HEXAGON have, and I'll show you that data. And actually, I'll do the time slider one first, just to show you that.
So this is the Geospatial Portal, 2014. So again, it's a slightly different client. There's more tools here. You can also see you can see in the demo here that they've shown the teams in the top hand right hand corner there by country, as well as being able to select a legend with each team. You can also select a geographic area, so you can use it to navigate around the regions quickly. So yeah.
Yeah, so you can have different setups there. You don't have to have each map in the one area. Okay, so this time slider data, I'm just going to add in here. It's a web map service again. Just add that in and register that. And this data is in the US, so I'm just gonna sorry, I'll just switch here. So I'm just gonna add this data in again. So I'll just go back to the map I added it into and see if I can fit this in. Okay, here we have the data over the US. It's some weather data. So I'll just zoom in a small bit there. And up here you can see I've various tools. As you can see, there's a lot more in this than there is in the Web Publisher portal. I'm just going to click on the time scale here. And here you can see I've got a slider. So I can use this slider to bring in data for the weather system for various different dates. And you can see as I change the slider there, it changes on the screen. So it gives me different data for different dates. Okay.
You know it wasn't Ireland. It's not much rain there, but yeah, okay, that's pretty cool, isn't it? There it is, yeah.
Okay, so the last thing I want to show is the 3D, and that's on a different geospatial portal. So just load this up here. Okay, and this is already in 3D mode, so I'm just going to go to Hawaii here, and hopefully you'll be able to see some buildings load in there. I'll just zoom in there so you can see my buildings in there in 3D.
That's really good.
And that's basically it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Kieran. Right. You get back control to me. Okay, so you have to be back on my screen. All right, thanks, Kieran. That was very good. So you can see some of the big things with GeoMedia WebMap 2014 is you can see that we've improved HEXAGON, have improved the web client. So it's a lot more modern. It supports web services. The ability to mash up data is a lot easier now. You can bring in information from either WMS, WFS. You can bring that data out. And of course, the big thing with this year's release was that 3D support. So being able to publish out that data as 3D, take SketchUp data or whatever it is to 3D models and publish them through a browser so people can use them and analyze against them. Again, that's a very useful tool. So, just before I come on to the questions, just to let you know, we have our Geospatial User Conference in Dublin on the 25th of September at the Ashling Hotel, and in Belfast on the 30th of September at the Mount Conference Centre. At both events, we're going to be very much focusing on the HEXAGON geospatial solutions. In the last year, the HEXAGON division has been set up to really focus on providing joined-up geospatial solutions that combine both GIS, remote sensing, and photogrammetry through a single kind of platform. So we'll be showing more of GeoMedia 2014. We'll also be showing GeoMedia on GeoMedia 2014 on the latest release of the mobile expansion pack that allows you to integrate with GPS devices when you're using GeoMedia in the field. We'll also be showing some more on GeoMedia WebMap 2014, but also there will be some demonstrations on Apollo, which will show you how you can handle and manage your point cloud data, all again using the same web clients and tools that the Geospatial Portal has. Okay, and then we'll be also attending the GIS Ireland conference, or the EuroWE conference as it's known, on the 16th of October, where you'll be hearing from me again. I think I'm one of the plenary speakers. I'll be speaking again on that vision of geospatial technology coming together. And we'll be speaking at the Belfast GeoData event on the 20th of November, when we'll be speaking about our smart client property management solution that we did for Shannon Development. So again, hopefully you can attend those conferences either in Belfast or in Dublin, and we can see you there. Our next webinar is on the 17th of September, and this one's going to be, we'll be bringing Tony back for this one, giving Kieran a break for a month, and Tony's going to be showing some workbenches on how you can use FME in local authorities and local government. So definitely on handling data coming in from third parties and automating some of the processes that GIS officers and local government people have to use. And we'd also show a bit on FME server and self-service there. Okay, so I'll just ask Amanda, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we've had one question come in there about database support. What database support is there?
Okay, yeah, so we covered earlier on. It's SQL, so it supports SQL Server, so both 2008 and 2012, same as GeoMedia. So if you need to use SQL Server 2000 or 2005, then you have to store the data in GeoMedia format. Also supports PostGIS, Oracle, now Esri file geodatabase, and you can also talk to like the CAD and other file formats, MapInfo and Shape on the fly, but we kind of would recommend that data being published out as web services or being loaded into your GIS database or your web browser database. So something like using FME there to load that data in. Just from a performance point of view, we think that's better than connecting to raw files. But it really is possible. It just depends on your own architecture.
That's it. That was the only
Okay, so that's our questions for today. We're a little bit early, but I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. A good turnout again. I'm glad to see these webinars are getting good attendance every month. I'd like to thank Amanda and Kieran for the support, and that's it really. So have a nice day, and hopefully we'll talk to you again next month on the 17th of September. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.